really rich visualizations, those multi-dimension graphs. This is another tiered reporting suite one. And then using a multi-dashboard environment. If you have a multi-dashboard environment, you have grown out of Excel. I hope you already know this, but in case you're looking for validation, you have grown out of Excel, and you're ready to move to something new. I love having dashboards be able to have that flexibility of the users being able to do their own drill downs and interact with that data, but still keeping it as simple as possible. Okay, so like I said, in this deck, I have some bonuses for you. One is my 6 best tips for selecting a dashboard tool. The second one is our BI tool works with a lot of the top dashboard products, and we have a comparison of 4 that could be helpful to you. And then the last thing is, if you're interested, I'm happy to send you an electronic copy of my book. It is not related to dashboards, like I said, but it is related to digital analytics, and I would be happy to share that with you. It's actually easier on me if you do it while I'm here, which means during the conference, send me that email, so that I will send it back to you. Otherwise, it goes off to our marketing team, and they take care of all that stuff. So if you want it right away, but it is an actual ebook, so I need to know which format you need it in. It's not a PDF. Okay, substance and style, equally important. Automated dashboard, better than a perfect one. We've got KPIs, diagnostic metrics, smoke alarms. We've context by doing comparisons, insights, not narrations, selecting the right visualization for the job, and then finally, we only put color on our dashboards to make them meaningful, not to make them pretty. Now, I intentionally left time for questions, so don't spend too much time talking.
Let's give her a round of applause first. That's excellent. Thank you. First question here. We've got just a few minutes.
What do you use for your multi-dashboard environment? Because you're saying you've grown out of Excel, so what do you wind up using?
We use a lot of different tools. I think the ones that compared here are MicroStrategy, Cognos, Tableau, and I'm blanking on the other one. No, it's not that. I don't think, maybe.
He's really good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't good. We just, the BI team put together the top tools that they're working with. But it's really those types of tools. All right, other questions?
So kind of following up on the question around the multi-dashboard environment, kind of overlaying it with the need to provide insights on each dashboard. Once you kind of scale the dashboard to multi-user and self-serve drill downs, it's really hard to bake in meaningful insights into that environment. Do you have recommendations how to go about that?
Yes. I do that with a budget. So to say, so if you're successful with your dashboards, you're going to get requests for a lot more. This is good, right? But if you want to keep that momentum, you need to be able to answer the questions. But you still are only one guy. You're trying to get your job done. So what I will do is to budget and say, okay, every quarter I'm going to do an analysis for each one of you, or every other month. And so I'm going to do this month, I'm going to do a deep dive for you guys, and then next month I'm going to do a deep dive for you guys. But I'm making sure that even though those dashboards are going out every single month because they're automated, that I am intentionally taking the time to be able to provide those insights, even if I have to share them. And the best way to get more people to provide insights is to actually provide insights. Like, rather than complain about, hey, we could provide some really great analysis if we had more people. Instead, what I do is provide that great analysis and say, oh, wasn't that awesome? Don't you love that? Would you love to bring that to your next meeting? No, you're done. You ever want to see that report again? I need another analyst. Right? But unless you give them a taste of the nectar, they're not going to know what's good. And if you need to make time in your schedule because you're already overbooked and you're trying to add value, just stop reporting on anything that somebody hasn't asked you about in 2 months. I'll just give you a little window where you can spend it on doing something better, and then when they come to you and say, hey, where did that report go? Because they're not going to notice for 3 months. You can say, well, I'm not doing that anymore because I did this one. Wasn't this useful? Wouldn't you rather I do this one?
Any more questions? Time for one more.
So you talked about different BI tools for building dashboards, but in my experience, most every client I've ever worked with uses either Excel or PowerPoint. I think a lot of what you spoke to is very applicable to Excel, but any thoughts on the use of PowerPoint to disseminate or organize dashboard content?
Yep. I think PowerPoint is the #1 reporting tool. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I think they have the biggest market share of reports that go out. I don't fight it. I just make sure that I'm doing a good job with PowerPoint and leveraging that tool. So there are a lot of best practices around PowerPoint. One is that each slide should tell a story. So it's that same concept of with your dashboard, right? It fits on one screen, and then you might have multiple versions where you go down, where you drill in. But I don't think that one's worth fighting. When you have a company that's used to speaking in PowerPoint, figure out how you can operationalize it.
One of the side benefits I've seen is that by providing in PowerPoint, it's more likely that your boss pulls the data out, puts it in his deck, which goes to his boss, gets pulled out and goes to his boss. It doesn't happen as much with pure PowerPoint.
Doesn't have so much with Excel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's another great tip for dashboards. Actually find out the senior level people who are rolling that information up, what format do they need to send it in? Are they reformatting all of your stuff? Because if so, you can make it easier for them, and then that makes everybody happier.
Great. So our next session, our final session of the day, will start in about 5 minutes. Until then, thank you very much.